Hi, it's Adam here from Cheap Classic Sports Cars. I'm going to start a series on how to maintain your cheap classic sports car cost effectively. As you probably are aware, here in the UK anyway, garage fees probably around £50 to £60 plus the VAT. Unless you're very lucky and you find somebody that can do it cheaper for that, you're going to end up with some big bills pretty fast. It's part of the reason I bought the B, MGB GT. Was that they're really cheap to maintain and parts are cheap for them as well. This has been a great car. I bought it from the Bangers and Cash people, Matthewson's, up in Thornton-le-Dale, Yorkshire, and it's good people to deal with actually. If you do know what you're looking for, and you've got to be very careful when buying these classic cars, they seem to be good people to go to, and I'm very pleased with the car. But anyway, I'm going to get into this. It's just a very simple little job that would probably cost you anywhere between 60 to £80 if you sent it to a garage. But all we're going to do is just change a steering rack rubber boot, because I've noticed that that's split. And so we're going to get straight into it now, and it's going to be a very quick video just to show you what to do. So basic tools required. There's a really cheap little generic tool set, cost me less than £20. There's the part we're fitting, it's a rubber boot. And a few other little tools there. As I said, very basic stuff. You don't need to go overboard with expensive toolkits to do your own maintenance. I've done big jobs in the past with very simple low-cost tools. So I've done a bit of prep. Now I've got that's an old floor mat to lie on, just for a bit of comfort. I'm just going to show you what you need to do. This video isn't going to be any longer than 10 minutes. So it's going to save you a bit of cash, which I think is important. Okay, so have a quick look underneath here. And you can see this is the steering boot. It's split. Let's try and show you. That's completely split at that end. It's come away. So first things first, safety. I've jacked the car up under the chassis front cross member, and I've got axle stands in place under both chassis legs. Very important to make sure that the car is safely supported when you're doing any kind of job. So what I'm going to do, this is a, can't really see that, but it's a 7/8 nut, and I'm going to show you how to do this job the easy way. There's all sorts of convoluted descriptions on how to do it, but the easier you can do this job, the better. So there's a nut there. I've put some easing fluid on it. Usually I use Plus Gas. That's a good product, works really well. And there's a big nut there. All you've got to do first of all is just unscrew it, only enough just to, there we go, just to ease it off the ball joint here. Right, we'll get to the second part soon, but for now I'll just show you progress, and then probably within 5 minutes you'll know how to do this job cost effectively and save yourself a bunch of cash in the process. Okay, this is the next stage of the process. We're getting our spanner and we are just rotating this nut. There we are, got it on there. And you can see that this rod here, that's the steering arm, is rotating. And what will happen is the threaded part just here will screw out of that steering ball joint. So I'll show you in a moment what we're left with once the process is finished. Okay, so we're into the second stage of the job. What I've done is I've rotated this shaft, and it will rotate by hand actually with a bit of persuasion, but I did use a spanner when I had to. That nut had kind of stuck on there, rotating clockwise. Okay, so here we are onto stage 3 of the MGB steering rack boot replacement. A simple little job that's going to save you between 60 and 80 pounds. As usual here in the UK, we got a heavy downpour. Now the sun's back out, and we're back to it. So really within probably 5 minutes or less, we're going to be completing this job. Now, part of my toolkit, very important, is this piece of card with a mark on it, and the reason for that will become very apparent in just a moment. Right, let's have a look under here, see what we've got. Okay, so we've got the steering rack. I've now slid the old boot off there, and we've got the steering arm, which was attached to this ball joint. As you can see, I've rotated this steering arm clockwise until it wound out of here. And going back to our piece of card, the reason why that's so important is because when I put the nut back onto here, the locking nut, it's got to go back exactly to the same position that it was in before. And this piece of card will show me exactly where to place that nut. And as I was saying, that mark on the piece of card will help me put that nut back exactly where it was before, so we don't get our steering out of alignment. Okay, I'm going to go on with it now, and this job will be done within 10 minutes. The video will be shorter than that, so bear with me. Okay, so now it's time to bring the piece of card into play. As you can see, I've got the nut back onto the steering arm, and I'm going to get our piece of card now and just butt it against the nut and check. There we go. That's the right length. Now bear in mind that we need to tighten that nut, which will be going counterclockwise if we were looking from the outside of the wheel, and we'll tighten up about half a turn, and this will then nip up to the steering arm. So basically, to give you an idea, that's loose now. That's going to be, I'm going to be doing the opposite, which is turning this back. It's a bit stiff at the moment, but I can do it with some mole grips. But turning this back this way, counterclockwise, and winding it in to the ball joint. And then it's a case of just attaching the boot, and made sure that I've liberally greased the steering rack on the inside. So there we go. That's a simple job. We've had the rain hampering it, unfortunately, but I guess I'd say it's probably taken me about an hour and a quarter by the time the job's done, and it saved me probably up to £80. And you say, well, what's £80? Not a lot, is it? But I think that money's pretty tight in the UK at the moment. It's 2024, and we're in a financial crisis. And I think, you know, you get 10 hours, you can get maybe as much as £800, which is not inconsiderate. You can certainly spend 10 hours maintaining a car. It's up to you whether you want to pay a garage to do these simple jobs, or whether you want to have a go yourself with a few basic tools. So there we are. I think takeaways from this video really is have a go at tackling the simple jobs yourself. You don't need expensive tools. I think I bought that cheap set from Halfords, under £20, and you don't need lots of equipment. You don't even need a garage. Just get yourself a big garden brolly or a small gazebo. I think I should have put a brolly up today, actually. It's cleared up now a little bit, but there you go. Simple jobs you can do yourself, so why not have a go? So it's Adam Cheap Classic Sports Cars. Stay tuned. I'm going to be doing more jobs on the MGB, so worth a watch next time. Whatever classic car you own, or even if it's not a classic car and you want to do some basic maintenance yourself, the quick and easy way, I'm going to be having some good tips here for you to save your time and money. Thanks for watching. Catch you soon. Hi again. I just thought I'd add this on to the end of the video. A job that I thought was going to take an hour and a quarter actually ended up taking over 2 hours just for a simple little job like that. The weather was against me. I've been rained on, I'm cold and tired, but I've saved £80, and if that was 10 hours at a garage, I'd have saved £800. Was it worth doing? Yes, and I'll do it again. It's worth it working on these old cars. Yes, you save yourself money. They are cheap to run if you don't do a massive mileage in them, and this car has got many years of life in it. It's a 1967 car. It's in good order, and I think it's really important to sustain the heritage, and it's great for sustainability to keep these old motors going. So I hope you've picked up some tips. You're going to save yourself some money. There'll be more in the series: how to fix old classic cars, how to buy old classic cars. Tread very carefully when you're buying. And learn from my experience. So this is Adam, Cheap Classic Sports Cars. Catch you in the next video.